All right, we're glad to have you back on Sunrise and Soul Television. My name is Laura Amaz, and it is a beautiful weekend. We've started our TIG Tango this Friday, and I don't know, Sugar Bar Sunday. How far? What are your plans for the weekend?
No, I times that we in the media houses have nothing much to do about the weekend. Talking about going home to rest. We are also on duty even during the weekends.
Are you now saying that there's nothing that's outside work?
Uh, I
How
don't
about
know how
Sugar
to
Bar?
go about it except when off duty comes now. But the weekend we'll be celebrating it as usual
As usual.
with persons that are free.
Okay.
We just go in and come out.
You go in and come out.
Go in and come out.
It's
and
all
come
right.
back to work. Viewers are welcome. My name is Sunday Nico.
All right, and this beautiful Friday morning, we are going to be looking at the newspaper headlines. And a lot has happened in the last 1 week, and basically all the newspapers are trending with the new army chiefs that has been sworn in yesterday, being Thursday. So let's go with the Vanguard. Uh, Insecurity, that is the headline from the Vanguard newspaper. It says, insecurity, give us results, not excuses, Tinubu tells service chiefs. And the writer there says, orders them to smash armed groups in North Central, Northwest, add security threats constantly evolving. And then he also says, service chiefs assume office, vow to end insecurity. Major shake-up in the army. That is coming from the Vanguard newspapers. You can pick that up. It's on page 5. From page 1 up to page 5, you can pick that and read up what the marching order that the president has given to the new service chiefs that were yesterday decorated with their new ranks and then told to make sure that Nigeria is secured. Now that moves off to the Punch newspaper. And on the Punch newspaper, we have petrol soars above 1,000 naira per litre as Tinubu okays 15% import tariff. Oh, when we are still saying that it's even difficult getting it at 900, now they're even saying it's going to be above 1,000 naira. And the writer said FG moves to protect Dangote local refineries from cheap import. Fuel importers face tighter margins. Okay, perhaps with that increase on importation, maybe it will just make sure that our refineries will be working. Now we go to the Daily Independent. It's still talking about the about the petrol 15% increase. It says FG slams 15% duty on imported fuel to make it more expensive. That is coming from the Daily Independent. And there's also this one that says clear new security threats. Now, Tinubu tells service chiefs, still talking on the service chiefs and what they have to do to make sure that the insecurity that Nigerians are facing will not be or will be a thing of the past. And he says, the writer says we can't allow crisis that began in 2019 to persist. Promise to provide them support to get the job done. That is coming from the Daily Independent. And we also have here the same on the Daily Independent says 2026, I am too popular to lose. Adeleke boasts ahead of Gubaris. That is the governor of Osun State saying he's too popular to lose. Now we go to the Guardian newspaper. And the headline there says, justice on trial as court battles neglect infrastructure deficits. That is coming from the Guardian newspaper. And we also have other stories there. Says petrol may hit 1,163 naira per litre as FG targets 4.8 trillion naira yearly from fresh tariff. APC Guba gains upper hand in House as defections reshape power balance. That is still on the front pages of the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Nigerians expect results, not excuses, Tinubu tells service chiefs. All right, that is the much we can take from the Guardian. Now that takes us to the Daily Trust. Fuel price may go up, marketers. It's still on the same issue of the fuel. I think that is taking most of the major headlines too. Now, Army redeploys 67 generals. Tinubu demands results. What APC can do with 2/3 National Assembly majority? That's huge. Bauchi to create additional 29 local government areas, 6 NAS approval, 29 in one state extra. That's huge. And then alleged coup plots bring Brigadier General Colonel's orders under probe. All right, that is the newspapers. Okay, now let's also look at this day newspaper. This day newspaper says, Edun, removal of fuel subsidy, FX reforms have strengthened, redirects public resources. We also have on the major headline that Tinubu to service chiefs, defeat these enemies once. I will provide all support. And then we have this one that says, okay, the writer says, declares his government won't tolerate excuses again. CDS seeks support of Nigerians in fight against tension, pledges armed forces support for democratic rule. Shake up in army as COAS redeploys top generals, other senior officers. Now, all right, Sonny, if you look at all the headlines, we just have two major things here playing out. Even though there was one other down story there that I downplayed, but maybe if we have time, we might touch on it briefly. Now, the petrol issue and then the new service chiefs. Let's start with the new service chiefs that have been given their staff of office yesterday. What did you make of that? And the marching order that was given, say enough is enough. Since 2009, we've had this insurgency, and that there are other new splinter groups coming up in the northwest, the northeast, north central, and some parts of the south. So he's saying enough is enough. Do you think that marching order, and again with a caveat that I will provide every necessary support needed to ensure that you bring down this harassment that Nigerians have been facing to a halt?
Yes, the directive, or let me say the order, is okay. Having for the fact that we within the country have been seeing it all, the way bandits and all that, terrorists and all that are becoming so organized, in their jobs. Let me call it a kind of job. They're becoming so organized. They're forming groups, splinter groups, because it looks like the thing is a heaven, to them. And if nothing is done, these groups will continue to gather and continue to form new splinter groups if nothing is done about it. The order is okay. It's a good marching order, for them to swing into action and to see that the environment does not become so comfortable, so appealing for these bandits and terrorists and their brothers. If the environment is hot for them, they could be pushed away from the country, from our territory, and then it will make other persons who are thinking of venturing in such kind of venture, not to find it attractive. But when the place is looking all that comfortable, all that rosy, and they are perpetuating evil and they're reaping from the benefit, you continue to see people who are notorious, forming groups and still going into such businesses. It's important that the order is given, and it's also important that the order is followed. Most of them have been promoted. Those of them that are general have been added 1 star. The ones that are major general are now lieutenants. generals and all that. I believe they will swing into action, put their houses in order and see that the right thing is done. It's also important that they work in unison. They need collaboration.
Yeah, I think the president was very particular about cooperation.
Yes.
The chief of army staff, Shuaibu, he has already started reshuffling the army. In fact, there has been a major shift. I think about 67 or so officers. Their offices have been reshuffled, move from this to that, move from that. I think, do you think that proactive action will also spur, measure will spur action for further, army, I mean the duties of the army to ensure that there is, a tightening of the rope?
Yes, it's expected. Once you appoint a new chief of staff in the army, it's expected that there will be reorganization, because there are persons that are, he believes that we work better with him. So you need to reorganize and bring those ones on board. That is the way it is done. And talking about the issue of cooperation is very important, because there are areas that when they are in operation, they will need the support of Air Force. So if there's no cooperation, there's no synergy, you'll find it difficult. There are certain kind of operation that will require the Air Force to come in, and there are some places where they will be working, they also need the expertise of the naval officers. So the cooperation is very important. The issue of intelligence also is also very important.
Intelligence gathering is quite key.
So there are certain things they need to work together, and then the command, how the command goes out. We have the Minister of Defense, Minister of State for Defense, we have the National Security Advisor. So everything should be in unison, so that they will not be having different command coming from these offices.
Different angles. I think that is quite key. The way, but again, there is also this, feeling that previously too there have been reshufflement and change of guards and all that, and the same marching order from previous presidents: go do this, go do that, and at the end of the day, it's all smoke, all smoke and no fire. So people are saying, okay, this has been done in the past. Is it going to be a repeat, or are we just going to see the same thing, or would there be a change? So do you think it's not going to be the same old story?
No, when you have a situation where the stories are becoming old stories, or the repetition is in a situation where the politics start to come in, when they start to politicize the operation. But when they are decisive about what they are doing, and they are cooperating and working together to see that all these evil elements are cleared away from our territories, there's no way they will not achieve their aim. But when politics come in, and then they start hearing different order from here and there, then the officers have nothing left to, because remember, they are officers and they are boys to these political office holders. There are certain operations that they will need to receive command, order before they can venture. But if these orders are streamlined and then in unison, they achieve their purpose.
Okay, all right.
Nigeria have the capacity to work on these things, and then see these people
we'll leave that there. Like we said, it's still a story that we'll watch it play. Let's hope that there will be a change this time. Now, let's go to the story on the Punch newspaper, where it says petrol sold above 1,000 naira per litre. Tinubu's okays 15% spot tariff. What do you make of that? I mean, Nigerians are already groaning, and now we are getting this. Although from the riders there, it's like he wants to protect local refineries to ensure that those that want to start importing fuel pay higher. But it will also affect the buyers, the end users.
Yes, it will affect the buyers if the local refinery, especially Dangote refinery, that has increased their production from 65 or 60,000 barrels per day. If now they have increased their production to about 1.5 million barrels per day, if the production remains stable at Dangote refinery and some other smaller refineries around the country, and if possible, federal government fix their own refineries too, and if the refineries are producing properly, there will be no need, importing fuel from abroad. So that is, they're just trying to discourage them from going out instead of buying from Dangote refinery. I think that's what they want to achieve from that. But if Dangote refinery fails, and then our local refinery fails, that is when it becomes a problem to consumers. That is just it, because the increment will surely affect the people that buy, because it will go back to the buyers.
And you know, it has this ripple effect. Invariably, it will also affect every other thing, both what you buy in the market and all that.
So the aim is to discourage importation of this thing and encourage manufacturing of it, production of it within the country. That is the basic aim. So if Dangote refinery continue to improve, and other refineries continue to improve in production, very soon the federal government might even take the tariff, I mean the import tax higher. Yes.
All right, let's hope that the Dangote and the NNPC will help us so that this importation does not go, because I mean, how will I fuel my car with my mega salary? That is a very big question. All right, now on a lighter side, while we wrap it up, some newspapers this morning I was reading, Natasha Agud, the senator, invites Akpabio to come to Kogi State, her senatorial district, for commissioning of some of her projects. And I'm like, wow, what's going on? These politicians, you can't really tell about them. I think that was a good development. What do you make of that? I mean, after all the hula bula and the bala blues that went on with the Natasha and Akpabio, all the scandals and everything, and today they say, okay, and he's even congratulating her. What do you make of that?
That is it now. I just want to add that if he attends, they may even end up having dinner. Dinner party.
I said, okay, the project, I hope it is in the open, that he's coming to inspect, so that it is not in a hidden corner that they are going to do inspection. But there are other senators.
And then the people that were fighting over there will now be looking.
Exactly.
Is that how we are? Is it where we are now?
I wonder. And it's always
so
a story.
It was all politics.
Our politics.
It was all politics.
It's always about permanent interests. No permanent enemy in politics.
When she was shouting, it was all politics.
Yeah.
Clearly. Because there's no difference between, this is not your seat. Go to your seat and sit down. And then you can continue talking from there. Then suddenly, you say, I was harassed here and there. Started going to court. Now you can see today. So
all right. It's neither here nor there. And that's why I tell people, please, when you are hitting your chest and banging your head, it's just like watching football. Chelsea, Arsenal, Man U, and then you want... Man, the dollars that these people are making, none is even coming to you. And you want to fight each other. I'm sure Collins and Femi, they are like looking